on here. We go. You can see you all now. Just turning my. We go. You can see you all now. Just turning my. Okay. So, evening, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday, the 8th of June, with me, Stacey Marsh. I am going to be creating with this little cutie tonight, this birthday piggy. I had a new order come earlier on this week, and I thought I'd give it a little whirl tonight. I've had a little practice with my colouring, and pigs aren't the easiest thing to colour, so I'm going to show you a few little tips, I think, this evening. So I do hope you will watch along with me. If you're watching on replay, a very happy hello to you. Don't forget to hit subscribe however you're watching, and you'll get notifications of future tutorials and lives and demonstrations from me. I try to go live on YouTube once a week on a Wednesday at 8:30. Obviously things crop up now and then, but I do like to spend as much time as possible with you all as I can. So I can see a few people are joining. Hello to everyone as you're joining. Hello to Dave the dog. He's sitting outside barking at me. I think I need to let him in actually. Or he's just going to spend the time barking at us. So we will make a little start. I've got a rough idea where I'm going to go with these cards, but it's very much a stamp and be inspired by the images on the card. So I'm just going to switch my camera around. Remember how to use my mount. We might get somewhere. Okay, and then flip my screen around. Okay, so I've got a fresh piece of grid paper, which is always lovely. And this, I'll talk you through the little stamp set in a bit more detail. So this birthday piggy is a cling stamp set. You'll find it in the new annual catalogue, the 2022 to 23 annual catalogue. And it is a lovely line drawn stamp set. So it's perfect for colouring with your Stampin' blends or your watercolour pencils. And I really like the sentiments that are in it as well. Great for birthdays and celebrations. You've got happy birthday as he's zooming along on his scooter. I've decided they're all boys, by the way, so I hope that doesn't offend anybody. It's your birthday, hope it's the best, thinking of you, wee, said exactly like that. Enjoy the ride. This little piggy says happy birthday, and go to your happy place and stay there all day. How cute is that? We did have some pigs a few years ago, so if you've still got them, they are a perfect addition to this stamp set. I sadly have passed mine on, so I no longer have it, but I wish I'd kept hold of it. Silly me. So yes, it's a cling stamp set. You've got lots of nice size images there. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to try and make a few cards for you. With a few different techniques. Now, I won't lie, I have been massively inspired by a demonstrator friend of mine, Laura Mackey. She created the most beautiful slimline card with this stamp set recently, and she shared it, I think last week. And you know when you see cards and you think, I need to make that, or I need to try and make my version of that. It really has stayed with me. She's an incredible crafter. And I do find her very inspiring. She has a brilliant eye for detail, and everything she touches turns to Stampin' gold. So big love for Laura Mackey. So I'm going to start with just some basic white card bases. This is a thick basic white card. So if you don't know, our basic white comes in two thicknesses, medium or regular, which is perfect for your stamping. It's quite flimsy. Whereas the thick white is great for your card base. It's just a little bit thicker, so it's exactly the sort of thickness that we want. And I'm going to create some layers for this. I'm going to cut this down to 9 centimetres by 13.4, And these are the pieces that I'm going to use for my backgrounds and for some of my stamping. Evening, Louise. Evening, Becca. Lovely of you to join me. Becca is my cousin. How is the house going? Becca's having a lot of renovation work done on her house. I'm intrigued to see how she's getting on. Right, so I've got 3 pieces that are 9 centimetres by 13.4. I am going to put my card bases to one side so I don't destroy them. And I'm going to start by stamping my images onto this basic white card in the centre. Okay. Where's my ink? When I'm using Stampin' blend pens, I always like to stamp with a Memento ink pad. He doesn't want to go out, he just wants to bark at me. Lovely. She has made some lovely cards, Louise, you're right. She always does though. Okay. So I'm going to stamp my little birthday piggy in the centre of my card. Now, I don't hear from the dog when I'm out here on my own until I decide I want to do a live, and then he's just relentless, destroying his bed, barking, trying to nibble at things. So I have one upright one, and I think I'm going to do this as a landscape card, our little chap on his scooter. I'm going to do a bit of 3Ding on these pigs as well. Oh, roof is going on from Tuesday. That's exciting. Look at him, isn't he just cute? And then we want our little piggy laying down. Just rescuing my husband's slipper. Oh, we want a block for that. I've joined a little Facebook group this week for tips on how to calm your dog down. And I feel like I need it. I think I'm going to put him down there. Perfect. Okay, so they are my 3 card bases. Very, very different images, but oh so cute. So I'm going to do a little bit of ink blending next to create a bit of a scene and a bit of detail in that background. So let's just grab some blending brush. I'm going to use my blending brushes for this, and I am going to take me a piece of grid paper. This is old grid paper. I'm just going to tear a bit of it because you want to create like a little bit of a background. So let's start with this one here. Let's start with our birthday guy. So pigs, as always, they love a bit of mud. They love to be grubby. Keeps them cool, apparently. So I'm going to start with some blending, and we're going to go with some soft suede. Okay. So I'm going to take my blending brush. For some reason, I like to blend with everything sort of on the diagonal. So I'm going to hold my paper in place and just go over that. So I'm going to turn this bottom of my card into some mud. Okay. I'll try and get a bit more shading in the top area. And what this does as well is it gives you a little bit of texture on your colour. I have no idea what that is there. Okay, so when we take that off, we've got a bit of a rough line. Now I'm going to sort of alter this here. So I'm just going to use my piece of grid paper to just alter that ever so slightly. But what this does is it will give you sort of layers within your, there, so it looks like there's a bit more detail in that base, in where he's sitting. Now what you can do is you can just sort of follow this down and go over that edge again, and that should give you more detail in your area. Yeah, look, see? I'm going to try and cover that up there. You want to go out? Go on. Out we go. Go on. If anyone would like a dash in, just let me know. Oh, Crafty Casher, bit of news after live. Oh, that's intriguing. Lovely. So it's building up nice amount of texture and detail in there, and that's just with a piece of torn paper. Okay, so this is where the fun comes in. We need to try and create our background, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to stamp him, cut him out and stick him back on. So actually it doesn't matter if we get any ink over him, right? So I'm going to take my Tahitian Tide, which is one of our new in colours, and I'm going to add in, I'm going to use this to hold my cardstock down, and I'm going to go over him. Now, I want it to be quite light in that centre, and I want it to be quite wispy, so I'm not going to go over too much. But there we have his little background. Okay. So put all of that to one side, and I want another piece of white, and I'm going to stamp our little pig once more. And this is where we're going to colour him in. So I'm going to use some Flirty Flamingo for this. And you have to be patient with me. My light Flirty Flamingo blend is on its last legs, it would appear. So we're just going to be quite gentle. So I'm going to start with my light blend, and I'm going to go around the edge just with small strokes and around his sort of features. Oh, Ali, it's you. Oh, hello, Ali. I didn't know that was your YouTube handle. I will know for future. So we're having some fun with these little piggies tonight. And I'm going to add some detail with this as we going to build it up. So this is the light Flirty Flamingo blend. Great. So now I'm going to use the dark Flirty Flamingo, and I'm going to just highlight those features with as much as I can, just around the edge. And this just gives a bit of definition to where we want it. And then now, so my Flirty Flamingo for some reason isn't in the best shape. I'm definitely going to need to order another one. Okay, so once we've gone round and we're happy, I'm going to go over that with my colour lifter and just sort of blend those colours together. What it does is it just sort of pulls that colour in ever so slightly. And leaves a little bit of highlight around where we want it to be. Okay, and then we're going to colour his hoofs in, and I'm going with soft suede here, like so. We want to colour the balloon in, and for the balloon I am going to colour in, what colour shall we go for? Let's have a little think. What about the new Granny Apple Green, not Granny Apple Cream, Parakeet Party, which is really, really bright. But actually the green will complement the blue and the brown that we've already used. So that's the light shade. And then I'm going to go around just the bottom to build up a bit of a shadow. I must admit the colour that I'm struggling most with the new in colours is this one. I'm very, very struggling with it because it's just not my sort of colour. And then his birthday cake. Let's do his birthday cake in sort of blues, shall we? We've got blue already for that, so how about yellow? Let's do, I'm going to do like an ombre style cake. So we've got dark So Saffron. Let's do light Mango Melody. Sorry, light Daffodil Delight, and then we'll go dark Mango Melody for the bottom, yeah, and then the candle can be green as well. Let's do this plate green as well. Lovely. So now we have that, we are going to cut this out. So how are we doing? Are we sticking? Are we still there? So first of all, we're going to cut little Piggy out. And we need to be really careful not to cut those little trotters off. And I'm cutting out on the line, which is not something I'd normally do. I'd normally leave a little white border, but because we are covering up this image, it would look a bit strange if we left the white border. So we're cutting on the line. Has anyone else purchased this stamp set? Has anyone else still got the old pigs? Now this bit's going to be tricky, the tail. Let's try not to cut his little squiggly tail off. By doing this as well, it also means we stand a better chance of getting that balloon how we want it to be. So what we do is we lay him back over, and there he is. He's sitting on that lovely mud. But one thing I will say is when you look at this, you can see the white edging of the card underneath. So what I do is I take a Stampin' Right marker and I just go around the edge so that you can't see that white of that paper sticking through. It also means if you've got any white card showing, it hides it. Okay, so we have our little pig who's going to sit just there, and then our balloon, we can cut all of this off. We just want the balloon, we don't want the tail, because we're going to use the stamped image that we've stamped onto our card already. Lovely, we're going to do the same, so just follow this round, covering up all that white. And then that's going to go on there. And then we want his cake. This is what we call definite attention to detail. So we need to try and snip in like that. Okay, again go round with the black. If you don't own one of these basic black markers, I would definitely recommend investing in one. They've got so many uses. They're really handy. Okay, so we can stick all of those pieces down now. So I'm going to take my Tombow and add my glue to my base Piggy. If I can get my glue out. This was working perfectly fine yesterday. And what a surprise, I've come to use it and it now doesn't want to play ball. Okay. So you just want to add glue to the whole image. Be mindful of to not put, oh, glue's gone on my balloon, not put too much on so it all oozes out the sides. Okay, Wendy March, I've still got the old Piggies, one of the first sets I got. I think it was Celebration, I think, yes. I am mourning the fact that I got rid of my Piggies now. So this is called paper piecing as well, if you want a technical name for the technique. So you get a lovely sort of 3D look. Now, you'll see in places we can see that white and that blue. So this is where our blends come in a bit more. So we're just going to highlight some of that where we need to. If the colours are slightly too different, just use your colour lifter, so just dull that down a bit. And then we're going to use our soft suede Stampin' blend to just highlight where that mud is there. Like so. So there we have our little Piggy. We've got this card base to come in. Now I'm going to add just a bit more detail to this, because what I don't like is I don't like that harsh edge. So I'm going to take my Stampin' Right marker actually that's running out quite a bit, that pen, where I've used it so much. I'm going to take an old journaling pen which just seems to be lasting forever, and I'm just going to add a little line around the top part of that card, and it just takes the eye away from that stark edge and refocuses us on our Piggy in the middle. Piggy in the middle. And we're going to stick this down. Oh goodness. And then we've got our sentiment. So we are going to put on "It's your birthday." Let's stamp this onto some scrap white. I'm going to stamp that in Memento actually. And then trim this into a little banner. Now there's one more detail that I want to put onto this card. Actually there's two more. So we have "It's your birthday." We're going to add that with some dimensionals. I've got some mini ones here somewhere. "It's your birthday." And then in the, what's it called, "Give It a Whirl" dies, which are somewhere up here, we have some lovely clouds. And I think what will finish this off nicely is some clouds. Now that's a big cloud. Here's the small ones. These clouds are lovely in these dies because they've got a lovely stitched element to them. So we've got one there, and we've got one here. So let's just run those through our die machine. Pop those to one side so I don't lose them. The die machine is next to me. I won't put it into shot. You guys don't need to see that. And I think this will finish this card off really nicely. Perfect. Just what I wanted. Let's put this one down here and this one up there. What do we think, gang? I'm going to overlap the edge ever so slightly. Perfect. Now let's get some sequins, which is what I see for this card. Now I'm not sure these sequins are still current, but I'm sure you will forgive me. So these are the subtle shimmer sequins. I think these have retired a little while ago, but do love a sequin. Up the top, so let's just take my pick tool. questions about this pick tool, about what it is and how it works. And basically one end you have a nozzle that has putty in it, and it's great for picking up little embellishments or sequins. It just makes life that little bit easier. And I want to put quite a few on, just because, why not really? Oops. If you don't like adding sequins like this, we also do adhesive backed ones. And this almost makes it look like rain. But I don't want that size. Need one of those. They are very, very handy. There's one. Excuse me, I've got the worst cough. Still, it's not COVID. Okay, so there we have our finished card for you. Our pig having a lovely little birthday party for one. Okay, so that's the first card done. Now for the second card, we have stamped this little guy. And I'm going to keep this one quite simple. I'll put that to one side, and I am going to just follow our little ground along, and then I'm going to use, is that dark or is that light? That's light, soft suede. Let's have dark crumb cake next. Oh dear, apologies everyone for my nasty cough. We're away this weekend, so I'm just hoping that it clears up soon. So we have dark, light soft suede and crumb cake there. I'm going to colour his little banner in the same colour. So this is light parakeet party. And then I'm just going to highlight the edges with that dark blend. And I'm just going to overlap the edge ever so slightly, like so. Like so. Okay. Now for his little bike, I think let's do his bike in Tahitian Tide, so shall we? I'm going to colour all over. Doesn't he look like he's just having the most fun? Like so, it's just adding a bit of shadow where I can. Like so. Okay, so that's our Tahitian Tide. And then we're gonna just colour in the seat. So I've got light basic black here. I'm just being quite subtle with my colouring. Like so. I'm going to bring in, where am I off to this weekend? We are off to Alton Towers this weekend for a little mini break. We go Friday and we're staying for the weekend. Very excited. Feels like a long time since we've been to Alton Towers, but we're all very much looking forward to it. Okay, just got a bit of detail there on his bike. Okay, and then I'm going to get some light smoky slate and just add that to those pieces there. And then we have this top bit. Now I don't really know what that bit is. I think that's still part of his bike, you know, so let's... Not far from you, no. Father's Day plans. We are... I'm taking Darren and his dad and my dad to an RAF museum. They love it, apparently. But yeah, that's what we've planned. We've booked, we've planned it, and well, it actually looks really, really fun. So that should be nice. Now, Flirty Flamingo. We're bringing back in our Flirty Flamingo. And I'm going to colour a bit more of our little pick this time. I tend to find when I'm colouring in large areas, I will use brush strokes that go in the same direction. That's a bit of a trip. So it will take about 4 hours, 4 hours door to door to get up there. Hence why we stay, but we'll probably leave ourselves a bit more time than that to get up there. But it should be a good weekend. Now this is where my now I'm going to take my colour lifter and I'm just going to drag it over my pig. To just take out some of that colour. Okay, so there we have our little piggy. Just need to do his hoofs or his trotters. And then we have all these bits of confetti that he's kicking up at the back. So let's have some red. Let's have some yellow. Let's have some green. Let's have some blue. And what other colour are you missing? There's lots of colours that I've used. Now, let's have a Highland Heather for these little swirls, shall we? And there we have our little Piggy riding his scooter. Now I'm going to add a little bit of a line around this again. Like so. Let's bring in our card base. And there we have our little Piggy on his scooter. Now this is what I would call a sort of clean and simple card. I know there's been a lot to it, but in the main we've got a clear background. I'm giving up with this Tombow in a minute. We've got a clear background. It's not my night. It really isn't. Let's see if this will stick. We've got a nice clean background, and although he's been coloured in, I think he looks rather cute. What do you think? So we've got 1 and we've got 2. So this one's got loads of detail. This one, not so much. And then our last little one is right here. Okay, so we're on the home stretch now, guys. Thank you for sticking with me. So that is dark crumb cake. Let's have some light soft suede to just highlight some of these pieces. And I'm just going to add a little bit of spritzing underneath. We've got some lovely flowers. So let's do some yellow centres. This definitely isn't going to be the last of this stamp set you see. This is just a first play. And let's have some red flowers this time. This is Poppy Parade. And then this time I'm going to try, this is the SU 100, which is one of the skin tone blends. I'm going to go for just a different pink colour now. Actually, I think I prefer this. It's a lot more subtle, whereas the other ones feel almost sort of luminous. So this is the next one up. So although these were sort of sold as skin tone blends, they are perfect for lots of other occasions as well. So this is an example of where they are much nicer colour for a piglet. I agree, Becca. This one definitely feels more natural to me. I feel like I can get more tone on him as well. Lovely. So there is our little skin tone piglet. I'm going to do myself another line, but I'm going to do a straight line this time. like so, and we need a little sentiment for her, don't we? So her little sentiment, I wish I'd done all the piggies in this colour now. So let's just grab, where's the stamp set gone? Any suggestions where I'll put the stamp set, guys? Probably right in front of my eyes. I do this every single live that I do. I put the stamp set somewhere and I can't see it for looking. These little piggies have gone walkabouts. Fallen in my basket. Here we go. A good card for a new baby, definitely. So we've got go to your happy place and stay there all day. Or we've got thinking of you. Now I think this looks like a thinking of you card. And I'm going to keep this really simple. And I'm just going to stamp my thinking of you about there. And for a clean and simple card, I think that one just does the trick. So let's stick this down. Actually, I'm going to use a bit of Seal Plus now. And let's just add that to the front of our card. And there we have it. We have our 3 little pigs. See what I did there? We've got 2 very clean and simple ones. We've got 2 very neon looking pigs. And we've got 1 more subtle looking piglet. Do let me know which one is your favourite. I love the detail on this one, but I do love the colour of this little piglet here. But I love this little happy birthday sentiment on this one here. So 3 very different cards, 1 stamp set, this birthday piggy. It's available from my online store now. You can find that at www.staceymarsh.co.uk. There is a host code that you can use that you can also find on my website. The host code goes in at the checkout. Excuse me. And you can receive a free gift from me as a thank you next month when you shop with that code. That's it from me tonight, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. It's been really lovely. We've done nearly an hour together. It's 9:20. I'm off indoors now, and I hope to speak to you all very, very soon. If you have any questions, do get in touch. Bye for now.